Welcome to the best amusement park in America, Biscuits, Dollywood. Yeah! I am so excited to be back. I was here earlier this summer on my road trip where I did 34 parks in 31 days. So to be back now so soon, my heart is so happy. I love this park with every inch of my being, from the merch to the unbelievable food options that you have here to some world-class rides and attractions. Dollywood is that girl, just like our girl Miss Dolly. Hey sis! Biscuits, if you're new here, hi, I'm Jeremy, but you can call me Jarendell. And if you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications so every time I post a video, you can come and slay with me. More importantly, we are here for a very special reason. It's going to be coming tomorrow. This is going to be day 1 of 2, potentially of 3 here at Dollywood. Tomorrow is going to be the big announcement for the next attraction here at Dollywood coming in 2026, which is the biggest sole investment for an attraction in Dollywood history. And to be here, I am beyond words. This is going to be a core moment that I get to have in this journey for the rest of my life. And I'm so appreciative to Dollywood for inviting me to come along and get to experience this monumental moment here at the park. But for today, we got in a day early. And right now, I'm just going to take you around the park, show you around, show you my favorite things, get on some of the attractions here, and just have an amazing time ahead of what is going to be an amazing day tomorrow. So Biscuits, let's get it together. Let's get this stepping. We've got a lot to do and see, but you probably already know where we have to start first. Let's go. From the second you walk into the park, everywhere you look, it's stunning, pristine, gorgeous. They have a pumpkin spiced milkshake. I will be having this, if not today, by the time I leave here, as well as the apple donut a la mode. You better stop it. So this is the beginning of the Harvest Festival here at Dollywood, which goes through October 27th to be exact. And along with that comes a slew full of things that I cannot wait to get to see and to get to share with you. Dollywood has so much live music and entertainment around the park. That is also going to be in full force while we are here. One of the things that always excites me the most, the food booths. Dollywood has some of the best food that you're going to get at any amusement park anywhere, mark my word. If you've had the iconic cinnamon bread, you know. Are we heading there first? No, I don't really have a sweet tooth right now. However, I will probably be having at least a loaf or 2 by the time I leave here because it is that good. If you know, you know. The park is also going to be decorated with thousands and thousands of pumpkins, and then there's an illumination show. Speaking of, we are coming up to our first detail right up here, and it basically looks like a massive pumpkin tree. This is spectacular. And to walk around the park later tonight to get to see all of these light up, I can only imagine just how much more alive and gorgeous this park is going to come at night, more so than it already is. In this main hub area here, you are going to have some locations where you can do some of the Harvest Fest food booths, but we are going to take it even harder right, and we are going to make our way up towards the theater and then to the left. Now, I'm going to preface this with, though this is one of my favorite rides and attractions in the park, it is not my favorite, and I'm sure you've already guessed. We'll get back to that soon. What is my favorite? But of course, we are heading over to none other than Lightning Rod. Yeah! Now, Lightning Rod debuted in 2016 as a very different attraction. It was the first wooden roller coaster to ever feature a launch, let alone a launched lift hill. Unfortunately, this new incredible feature was a nightmare for the ride to be able to maintain, and after years and years of trying to get it up and going, they ended up having to do an overhaul to the ride and now make the lift hill just a standard chain lift hill, a very fast one, but a chain hill nonetheless. So there's been a lot of scrutiny of the ride. People said that once in its original form, this was the best ride in the world, but as is, this is still a standout attraction. I wish I could have ridden it as the launch lift hill, but even without that, this is easily one of my favorite wooden roller coasters and roller coaster period that I've ever been on. So it's only fitting that we have to start with here, and we have, Dollywood was so kind in giving us Time Saver, so we will be able to skip the lines. But right now, schools are back in session. I don't anticipate the crowds being too bad. Like right now, there really doesn't seem to be much of a line for Lightning Rod. We might even just walk right on, which is spectacular. We might get a lot of rides tonight. It's about 1 p.m., so we're just gonna have to keep track of what we get to do. But while that's not necessarily the goal today, the goal is getting to show you as much as we can, especially ahead of the grand announcement tomorrow. We might as well make a little marathon day out of it. Why not? We're here, we've got the pass, it's very quiet. Why not? And we have a dispatch for Lightning Rod. As you can see, there are some empty seats, which tells you just what the crowds are like today. And Lightning Rod countdown is going to start going up a 165-foot drop. It's going to reach a top speed of 73 miles an hour. And while you can't really see what's going on the back of this lift hill, just trust it is high intensity speed and chaos. But there's no question that the high point of this ride comes right here towards the very end. It's a quad down. Now you can only see 2 of the 4, but there are 4 really high speed drops and transitions that then sweeps around here. We're going to see it in less than a minute around this huge overbank turn to then come into this brake run for the finale. But in the next 30 or 40 seconds, we should see the train in the ending of this quad down in this unbelievable finale to this coaster. Wow! Yeah, it really looks like it's hauling today. All right, y'all, it's time to get on. Here's a look at the station at the moment. And while we could totally wait one train for the front row, let's just get right on. We are gonna opt for row 11 for this first ride. Let's go! I'll see you after the ride. Biscuits, I have one question. What just happened? Look, when I came this summer with Reed, this was the very first ride that we rode, and I got off it and I was like, wow, what a coaster. Admittedly so, it was a little overhyped for me, though I left it, especially riding in the back row where I basically just rode now, thinking that I couldn't help but feel like it might have been overhyped a little bit, but I just rode in row 11, the same row from my very first ride, and it felt like 2 completely different rides. I mean, it is running so fast. The airtime was so furious. The quad down, you're flying out of your seat the entire time. The speed around the final turn into the brake run, the airtime on the wave turn after that first drop. This completely altered my brain chemistry in the best way. And what I left feeling overhyped as the first time, but still an incredible ride, I leave now after just one ride thinking, wow, this might be my new favorite ride in the park, which belongs to a different coaster. And just so I can figure out if that is true, granted we're gonna have to do a couple rides on each to really get a good idea, I'm gonna go over to my favorite coaster in the park now so I can ride them back to back to just see where we're at right now, because I'm kind of shooken. I expected to come in and have the exact same opinion and be like, look, I love this coaster, it's great, but it is not as good as where we are heading. But you know what? We're just gonna have to go see, and we are gonna head there right now. So stay tuned. Now, as we are heading up to Thunderhead, we are already getting a glimpse at not only just how gorgeous and pristine Dollywood is in its theming, decoration, and in the nature, but then the main attraction, or one of the main attractions, I should say, of the Harvest Festival, which are the thousands upon thousands of not only pumpkins, but pumpkin decorations, which again are going to have illuminations once nighttime comes, and I am so excited to get to see. For example, here is going to be one of the illumination structures, and it's this giant iconic Dollywood butterfly with what has to be at least a couple hundred pumpkins that are all going to be lighting up. They're actually already lit, so when the night falls, you're going to be able to see this in full force, but it is gorgeous, and I'm so excited to get to see it tonight. Here's going to be more of a display for the Great Pumpkin Luminights that's going to be happening again throughout the Harvest Fest. And just to get to see all of this, you can see that right in here there are some lights that are already flickering and on. So in a matter of a few hours, and more than a few hours, once it does start to dim, this is going to be next level. I can't wait. While we're at it, y'all, let's do a little get to know you. What is everybody's favorite Dolly Parton song? This might be a little out of left field and maybe not the typical answer that you might hear, but I have to say mine is "Why'd You Come In Here Looking Like That?" I'm obsessed. It's the moment. I mean, Dolly is the moment, period, as we've already come to know. When I start going through the Rolodex of Dolly Parton songs, iconic hit after iconic hit, I always come back to that one. So that's gonna be my answer. Let me know in the comments, what are your favorite Dolly Parton songs? Oh, this is gonna be one of the last things that I show you. This light up path tonight is going to be spectacular. Some more pumpkin detailings to the left, but we're gonna save the rest to be a surprise surprise once night falls and I can actually capture it in the way that it is supposed to be shown. So more on this to come, but for now, rounding the corner to my favorite. You can see it, Thundy! I'm coming, my goodness. I know I went to Lightning Rod first, I'm sorry. Sure, some of you have guessed, but Thunderhead is my #1 ride in this park. We had a night ride on it my last trip here that I still think about on the regular, dears. It was right before a lightning storm hit, so the combination of having the lightning storm in the distance, but then just having it be a night ride, a warm night ride after it's been cycling all day, in the dark, this is one of the coolest custom layouts from GCI, 100 feet, 53 miles an hour. I think what makes Thunderhead so good is the fact that after the first drop and that first bank turn, it becomes really compact. So all of the elements not only happen seemingly low to the ground, but really tight to one another as well. So whether you're like right there, so whether you're flying around the turn or going over the hill, everything happens so fast. The airtime hills, you're flying out of your seat. The turns, you are flying in a one side or your bestie biscuit on the other. It is a spectacular ride. It is one of my favorites, and I'm so excited to see if it is still my #1 after that incredible ride on Lightning Rod. So enough yap, let's slap, let's get on. I know, it's a dream. You know, and here's what's actually really crazy is that the parking lot is really full. So I'm not sure what's going on at the park today, but when I drove in, I was like, wow, there are a lot of people here. But as you can see, they are not at the ride. So we'll take it. And on top of it, they're running 2 trains, which they don't have to be doing today. But the fact that they are, you're going to get unlimited. I could get unlimited rides on this today if I really wanted to. And you know what? I just might.
Yeah, love the body.
Biscuits, look, whatever you do, do not make me pick between my 2 bebés. I can't do it. It is just, I went in the back row, and this ride is just unbelievable! From the second you leave the drop, even though the first 2 elements are, I mean, in terms of the entirety of the ride, a little bit more slower paced, they are still very quick. The laterals are still very strong, but then after you get off of those first couple turns, it is just like, it happens so fast. Everything is at you one after the other after the other. It is the best GCI coaster that I have ever been on. It is the smoothest GSI coaster I have ever been. GCI, my goodness. Did I say GSI? Hello, where am I? What's going on here? I don't know. GCI, it is unbelievable how great of care they take of this ride, how well it is running, the unbelievable layout that it is. It's so hard to pick because Lightning Rod is running so well, but I think I still might have to give the edge to Thunderhead, but I don't know. I don't want to pick. They are both my favorite bebés. And speaking of favorite bebés, we are going to be riding one of my favorite drop towers. Look, do not sleep on this drop tower. Drop towers are some of the only rides that genuinely terrify me. Horrific. Have you been on, oh no, there she goes, AOL modem. Sometimes my brain goes, ah. Have you been on Falcon's Fury at Busch Gardens? 330 feet tall, I believe, tilts you straight down and then drops you. Terrifying, nightmares, still recovering. This is a gyro drop. It's over to, I want to say it's close to 300 feet tall. I need to check my facts. It rotates you all the way to the top, which a lot of the gyro drops out there don't do anymore. And then they can kind of like change their top cycle. It can either drop early, they can hold you up there. You just never know what you're going to get. And that is what makes this drop tower so thrilling, but it's also really punchy, where I feel like some of the bigger gyro drops, they're very like smooth. They're very kind of like pleasant to ride. They're really not, actually drop tower at Kings Dominion is actually pretty intense if I'm being honest. But this is a very punchy drop tower, very intense, and I'm so excited to get back on it. Not necessarily excited to do it by myself because I'm scared, but excited to get on it nonetheless. So let's go get on the drop tower. I'm saying it again right now with my full chest, one of the best drop towers that's ever been created, for a couple different reasons. First of all, you get the most I wish I could show you the view from the top, because it is one of the most gorgeous amusement park views that you're going to get. You get to see the full scale of the park because again, you're revolving 360 to the top. You get to see everything, every coaster, every tree, every detail. It is insane. Every tree, Jeremy, really? Seriously? That really? Okay. Anyway, let's move past that. I moved past it. Have you? Clearly I haven't! and then on top of it, you come to an initial stop, and you think you're at the top. And you get to sit, and you get to pause, and then the anxiety kind of builds up, and then, after what seems like an eternity, it continues to slowly start moving back up, and then that's how you know when you're going to be dropping. It's just incredible. The drop is really aggressive. You feel it in your stomach. This is a must get on. Even if you're scared, just do it once. Just do it once. You might regret it, but you're gonna get an amazing view out of it, dears, I promise. I don't care what theme park you are. I'm not doing this correct. This is an awful angle, my goodness. Let me try to adjust that. That's a little better. We're gonna work with that. It's hashtag professional. Again, I don't care what theme park you are. You have a clunker roller coaster. Someone who's not really that girl. Someone who's been through it and maybe is still showing that they have been through it and they haven't really recovered yet. Mystery Mine is that girl. Yeah, she does her best, but if you haven't been on Mystery Mine, this is just your moment to know to be prepared and to brace for impact. She is aggressive. Very aggressive, and a lot of it happens in the dark. Yes, there are some things that happen in light, but there are some things that happen in the dark. Just be aware that while she is rideable, she is aggressive, she's pretty terrifying if I'm being honest, and just to be ready. Speaking of, we're gonna go on. Mystery Mine is usually a one and done for me. So let's go see if it's running any better today than it was when we were here over the summer. Wish me luck, here we go. To give you an example of what this ride experience could be, I just got to listen to this group of riders finish the ride, and as they were hitting the brake run, I heard a gentleman say very loudly, "Oh," fill in the blank with whichever word you prefer. Oh, this lighting, amazing. Squirrel! Fill in the blank. I did not expect that. So, the more you know. You've been warned. You're welcome. Here we go, up and into the station we go. I am using the time saver for this because it is a little bit lower capacity ride, but they are running a decent amount of trains. But even this is backed up and down the stairs, so we are gonna skip the line and hopefully get right on here pretty soon. I am not going to say that I am aging badly because I think that I am aging the way that a seasoned diva and queen, I am not a diva, I have my moments, not a diva. I am aging the way a seasoned person, a seasoned queen should. However, there are certain ride experiences that make me feel like I am not aging well. And Mystery Mine, right behind us, this is one of those experiences. Look, this ride is crazy. This drop especially, oh my goodness. And they used to have this huge, it's not huge, it's right over here, but this crazy overbank turn that was almost vertically like 90 degrees. It's no longer a part of the ride, but they do still have the track. And this ride is a little rough and tumble. The transitions are a little cattywampus, but the last part of the ride between, I'm not giving away the secret, but the lift hill, the last lift hill through the end, buckle up, brace yourself, because wow, it is crazy. This front half, I can do without it. The back half, yes please. For now, we're gonna say it's a one and done because I do want to get to some of the other attractions. We are heading into one of the best family areas in any theme park anywhere. But wow, Mystery Mine, wild, crazy, especially for how old of a Gerstlauer Eurofighter is. It is still running, I think, as good as it can be. But I'm ready to be on to the next. So speaking of, on to the next we go. And next is gonna be Wildwood Grove. Where am I pointing? Where is my hand? There we go. My goodness, hashtag professional. Next, we're gonna be heading back to Wildwood Grove. That is a gorgeous, very new family section of the park. And it has rides and attractions, two of which are two of the best family roller coasters that I've ever been on, Dragon Flyer, as well as Big Bear Mountain. Oh my goodness, I felt that in my core, because that was just me. Anyway, these two, and you know, here's the thing, Dragon Flyer is pretty much at least what I thought. one, your standard Vekoma Junior coaster, suspended coaster. But then we rode it in the back row, and though it is a family coaster, it's very much a family coaster, it's shockingly intense. The pull down that first drop, and you're taking the whole course of the ride. The pacing is actually pretty quick. And then you have Big Bear Mountain, which is not only a very long coaster, but it is the perfect bridge the gap coaster between like a more of an extreme thrill coaster and a junior coaster. It is right in the middle. Vekoma did an unbelievable job, and Vekoma's been kind of taking over as a whole. Their rebrand is one of the most unbelievable rebrands I've seen for a roller coaster company in my existence. But Big Bear has everything. It's got the launches, the speed, really fun transitions. It's very smooth. It's terrain. It's beautiful. It is the perfect family coaster, and I am so excited to get back on it. I'm gonna have to get on it a couple times. I can't remember what I liked more, the front or the back, but we're probably gonna find out today, if not tomorrow as well. But this is just a stunning, especially at nighttime. I can't wait to see the direction. Where? Which? South, west, north, where? I cannot wait to see the difference of what this looks like at night, especially with the Harvest Fest decorations and all of the pumpkins. So for now, we're gonna head to Dragonflyer. We've made it back into Wildwood Grove, and there are a couple things that I really like about this area. Number one, I mean, the overview you get of a lot of the rides and the coasters. So many family-friendly rides here. You could be here for hours, if I'm being honest, between the activities to do, the playground, and then the rides themselves. But also, this is going to be kind of, I guess, maybe a me thing. Maybe some people will agree with this, but running water is very pleasing to the ear for me, and all throughout this entire area there's a lot of running water, and then also you're surrounded by greenery and trees, and it's beautiful. So all of that makes this one of my favorite family themed areas ever that I've ever experienced. This might be the favorite area that I've ever experienced. And speaking of, Dragonflyer is going to be up next. I want to go back in the back row because I went on this ride again, not thinking that it was going to be anything necessarily that would have me clutching my pearls, but then as soon as we got hurled down the first drop in the back row, I was clutching all of my pearls and then some. So we're gonna hit Dragonflyer here first, and then after Dragonflyer, we're gonna head on over to Big Bear. If I've said it once, I've said it thrice. Oh, where did it go? The sign was there. My goodness, hashtag professional. How many is that today? Let me know in the comments. I've said it once, I've said it thrice. Unbelievable, fantastic, my favorite suspended Vekoma roller coaster out there. It is way more aggressive than it looks, and I mean aggressive in a good way. It is a little bit punchier and more intense. It does take the elements pretty quickly. The drop, especially if you're in the back row, there are going to be some pretty high forces. And once again, it's another one of those attractions that does a fabulous job bridging the gap by combining a thrill coaster with more of a family junior coaster. It has elements of both, and on top of that, it is exceptionally smooth and very rideable. The family and the younger biscuits are going to love Dragonflyer. I love it. And speaking of love, we are going to be next heading to Big Bear. If I drag this cord I have the world's longest cord. I don't know why, I don't need it, it's not necessary, but here we are, and it drags a lot. I could put it in the fanny pack and it's still gonna find a way to drag on the ground and try to sabotage my day. Anyway, Big Bear is up next, and when I had initially rode this over the summer, it was hype central. Everybody, I'm not gonna say everybody because that is way too general, but a lot of people say that this is hands down, starting with a launch right out of the station, that Big Bear is hands down the best family roller coaster out there right now. And you know, it's interesting because there are some more of these new gen Vekoma family coasters that are gonna be popping up, and I'm very curious to see how they are going to fare in comparison to this one. I'm pretty sure one is gonna be going, it's been announced, hasn't it? The one that's gonna be going to Six Flags Magic Mountain, I think. Oh my goodness, there's a Dragonfly. Fancy that, next to Dragonflyer, who knew? My goodness. So I'm curious to see, and I'm excited to get to see the continued life of these Vekoma family launched roller coasters, and just to see how they're going to continue to change and become different or be the same, and just how they're all going to stack up to Big Bear Mountain. So let's go get on Big Bear. Big Bear debuted here at Dollywood in 2023, and though it's 66 feet tall and 48 miles an hour, where am I looking? My goodness! It still just packs such a great punch. The use of its terrain, the tight tugging corners, the launches, we have 3 of them. Well, we have this initial one that's going to be happening right here, and then there are 2 more boosts that happen throughout the rest of the course. This epitomizes the perfect family coaster, and I think is really going to set the standard for this next round of family coasters that are going to be following it. And without question, Vekoma is going to be leading that charge. I mean, look at this initial launch. Look at these adorable trains. It's truly incredible. Here we go! Yeah! All right, now it's our turn. Let's get it! Yeah, no questions asked. Big Bear is the best family roller coaster that I've ever been on. This cord, y'all, it's trying to take, I put it away and it is trying to take me out again. My goodness. Anyway, best family coaster I've been on. I've been on a good amount of family roller coasters. I love, first of all, terrain roller coasters that make good use of just, what is it called, the topography? I'm not sure if that's the exact word. Again, did not take the SAT, took the ACT and barely scored higher than the monkey. But I love how it utilizes its land. But I also love that this roller coaster stays relatively low to the ground, because the turns and just how it hugs the terrain, it's just a beautiful coaster, not only to look at, but to ride. And then the onboard audio, and first of all, an onboard audio with music that is beyond on theme and has bear puns, forget about it. I'm obsessed. I love this roller coaster. It is going to be a hard family coaster to top in terms of taking over for the best. But again, more are being created, so I'm curious to see how they're going to take Big Bear and continue to evolve it in some of these new parks that are undoubtedly going to be getting a Vekoma Junior coaster in the near future. So, you know what, y'all, I'm starting to get a little hungry. I'm gonna have to get a little snacky doodle, a little snacky poo in here at some point. But our next roller coaster is either gonna be Wild Eagle or Firechaser. I can't remember which one comes first. I think we're gonna hit Firechaser first, but let's see, we might get a little snack along the way. Stay tuned. So here at Splinters, you have a lot of options for a sweet treat. You can get the funnel cakes, they have toppings, but then also what you can get is this upper zoom. It's Zoom, let's go. You can also do mini cinnamon bread here. So if you're solo, or maybe you're just not that big of an eater like I am, you do not have to go over and get that full cinnamon loaf bread. You can also do a mini option here. I am gonna try that at some point because I wanna see just how it compares to see if it's just as good as the full-size loaf, or maybe it's not as good. I don't know, but at some point I'm gonna try it. We got to do a taste test. But for now, we are going to go get on Firechaser, and then we'll hop on Wild Eagle, and then try to get some food over on the other side of the loop on our way to Tennessee Tornado, or after, who knows? Off we go. Firechaser Express is going to be another family roller coaster here at Dollywood, and the other two being Vekoma. This is going to be a Gerstlauer, and this one's got some tricks up its sleeve. It only has a top speed of 34.5 miles an hour, but it's got some launches. It has a really, really fun drop, and then there's also going to be a backwards element to this coaster as well, which quite honestly took me by surprise. When I rode it over the summer, it was riding a little rough and tumble, especially when you compare it to the likes of Big Bear and Dragonflyer, but either way, it is still a spectacular roller coaster, and I'm really excited to get on. So we'll see you after the ride. Firechaser, check, and you know what? A little bit of excitement. We actually got stuck on the ride right at the finish, but here's a couple things that I have to comment on. Number one, they gave us, we were only stuck for maybe like 6 to 8 minutes max, but even then, so once they brought us back into the station, they still gave us 2 skip the line passes for any ride in the park pretty much, which that's unbelievable customer service. When you're at other parks, not gonna say them, if you could be, I've been stuck on a ride for goodness knows how long and I haven't even gotten a skip the line pass. So that was really kind. And then also, maintenance got here so fast. As soon as we stopped, they made the announcement, and not even a couple minutes later, maintenance was here. They fixed what they needed to fix. They did say that it was going to be a brief delay, and then we were on our way. So just the customer service, the teamwork in Dollywood, that is one of the things that stood out to me the most when I was here last time, and that was just on full display right here over these last couple minutes. Firechaser itself, you know what, here's the thing. I liked it more this time around. I rode in the back row. I forgot how punchy the launch actually is when you're in the back row, the backwards launch. But then also, I don't know if this makes sense because I've never really described a roller coaster like this, but when I was riding it, that's all I could really think as I was riding it that made sense in my brain. Oh, first of all, if you are a tall biscuit, again, almost 6'2½", I'm 74% leg, you can't see them. I'm a biological anomaly, no idea how that happened. Anywho, if you are a tall biscuit, crisscross applesauce, and then watch your knees because they're gonna be hitting the front of the car for a majority of the ride. So just bear that in mind, especially on some of the brakes and on some of the transitions. It's not quite as rough and tumble as I remember. It does have some weird quirky transitions. It does kind of jostle a little bit, but then the ride just feels like it runs stiff. Does that make sense to anybody? The ride felt stiff. From the train to the track to the way that it was maneuvering around. It's not uncomfortable. It's not like it's bumpy and really unpleasant to ride. The ride just feels stiff in a way that like Big Bear and Dragonflyer does not. So I just thought that was really, really interesting and just kind of what I experienced. But it's a fantastic family roller coaster with some really fun elements, and I always enjoy getting to ride it. But for now, on to the next. Oh, where are we? There we go. Biscuits, Wild Eagle is going to be next. And here's the thing, those that have been around for a while, you know how I feel about B&M wing coasters. They are some of my least favorite roller coasters in existence. But this summer, I think an epiphany is the right word. I had an epiphany. I learned how wing coasters are supposed to be and how they should have been since day one. They're supposed to be launched. When I rode Raptera and, oh boy, Jeremy, no, oh why am I blanking on the one at Holiday World? My goodness! But when I rode those, I was like, oh my God, I get it. This is how they're supposed to be. Because all of the other ones, am I even going the right way? I don't know where I'm going. Is this the exit? Am I Bueller? Hello? Okay, yeah, we are going the right way. They're meant to be launched, is all I'm trying to say in way too many words. And while wing riders and wing coasters are very impressive to look at, they really don't do much. Some of the, like X-Flight at Great America, the forces are okay. It does have some cool moments, but it's more about the floater, the near misses. Now look, I don't want to totally rain on their parade. There are some wing coasters that are okay. Like Gatekeeper at Cedar Point, it has some fun elements. X-Flight at my home park, it's a little bit more of a compact model, so some of the elements are a little bit more intense, which is fun. It's enjoyable. These coasters are meant to be launched. However, Wild Eagle here at Dollywood is my favorite full circle out of all of them that I've been on. I would say Gatekeeper is probably number 2, but for now, I think we're gonna ride towards the front. Yeah, we're just gonna ride row 2 on Wild Eagle. I'll see you after. And then, oh my goodness. And then let me turn it around. We're heading over here next. Can I zoom? Oh, nope, we're going up and down. Hashtag professional. Right over here, you can see the lift hill through the trees. The big loop is right behind this tree. Tennessee Tornado up next, one of my favorite aero coasters ever created. But first, Wild Eagle. See you after. So here's the thing, Wild Eagle came to play and slay today. It heard my trash talking, saying, wing coasters, I don't like them. And it was like, okay, sis, well, I'm gonna look, that was a fantastic ride, especially row 2. I can't remember, okay, I can hardly remember what I did this morning. If I didn't take a flight, then I for sure wouldn't know. but I cannot remember when I came here this summer if I preferred more the back row or the front row. Riding in row 2 was spectacular. Between the forces, between the positives, you've got some negatives, that last helix towards the end, like almost like close to graying out. And then also the pacing is great. I feel like Wild Eagle is so good because it combines like the bigger gatekeeper-like wing coasters with like the smaller, more compact wing coasters like X-Flight. It's kind of like the best of both worlds, and Wild Eagle executes it so well. Beautiful views. The setting doesn't get much better. I'm eating my words a little bit. I loved it. It was really good, and I look forward to riding it again. If not today, definitely tomorrow. But up next, I could not wait any longer. It is time to hit Tennessee Tornado. Now, friends to the channel, you know just how I feel about aero coasters. Aero coasters are the reason, and Ron Toomer more specifically, are the reason that I am the roller coaster enthusiast that I am today. And so anytime I get a chance to ride these classic, older school aero roller coasters, it is a beautiful day because it's like my childhood, and it's just like reliving my history and a reminder of where I am, and it's really special. So with that, I'm pretty sure I walked past the entrance stairs, so we are gonna go back right over here, and we're gonna get on Tennessee Tornado, which has one of the larger loops in the world. There is no other aero coaster that has inversions that are this elongated. There are inversions that are higher up in the air, but not just as big and drawn out as these are, which make it super unique. It's so fun. I'm so excited to get back on, front or back, I don't know, I'm just excited to get on. I'll see you after Tennessee Tornado. Speaking of rides that did not come to play, back row Tennessee Tornado. Wow, look. This ride is short, but to quote the gentleman that sat in front of me, as soon as we hit the brake run, he said, "Thank God this is short," because as soon as you get off the lift hill, it's game over. It is a speed demon. It is relentless. The forces in the last 2 inversions are really intense. I actually grayed out a little bit. Like the one only moment of reprieve you get is actually when you're hanging upside down of the, I believe, 110-foot loop, because it does kind of like have, I'm not going to call it hang time, but it does decelerate quite a bit towards the top of the loop. But aside from that, it is just hustle, bun, speed walk, sachet, flying throughout the entirety of the course from start to finish as soon as you leave that lift hill. It is a marvel. It is one of my favorite roller coasters. I'm not going to say it's a marvel. I think that that's a little too aggressive and a little too exciting, but it is undoubtedly my favorite aero coaster that's been created, next to Viper, next to Shockwave, next to the Great American Scream Machine, next to Viper at Darien Lake, and anytime I get to ride it is a very special day. Love you, Aero. I miss you so much. Ron Toomer, thank you for the gift of roller coasters and for bringing my love for these things, for these incredible machines alive. It's all because of you. Out of the next. You know what? I think I'm going to skip Fire in the Hole for now because I am not only really hungry, but this is kind of our last coaster to hit, and I do want to save something till tonight. I am getting hungry, and I might try to go back and take a little bit of a nap. Yeah, we flew through the park, y'all. I'm going to be here all day tomorrow, so I have a lot of time in addition to the media event to then also do the train and some of the other secondary attractions as well. But I think now, look, it is, y'all, I need to get rid of this cord. It is trying to sabotage my life. Look at this. Look, this dragging, it's like 15 feet long. Why do I have it? I have no idea. Anyway, it's time for food. I think I'm gonna go over to one of the stalls over here. I had one of their summer dishes and it was spectacular. It was a burnt end platter, I believe, and it was so good. So I'm either gonna go there, but then there's also a restaurant that I've heard about. I think it's all you can eat. I mean, I'm kind of like in that mood for all you can eat, so I'm gonna do one or the other, and then we'll kind of go from there. So as soon as I decide what food we're gonna get, I will check back in. Ooh, what's this? Hickory House Barbecue. Okay, this might have to be it. Let me see. This is not the, oh, it smells so good. So they've got Big Bear Feast. They've got the brisket cheesesteak, chicken tenders, pulled pork sandwich, loaded barbecue pork fries. Okay, that sounds really, really good, but I'm gonna keep going just so you can have a look-see at what I was just looking at and have an idea of what I'm smelling, because it's insane. This is what we're working with. I mean, the loaded barbecue pork fries, the briskets, I was like, come on, I want all of this. The Big Bear Feast, I'm assuming like a side and whatnot comes with that. So this will be on our list of things to try. But for now, we're gonna keep stepping and we'll see what we get. Now look, I have not really been in the mood for a sweet treat, which is kind of rare, but now of course I'm over here by the grist mill where you can get the iconic cinnamon bread. SD card full again on my DJI. Slay, it's going well, hashtag professional. I'm over here by the cinnamon bread and it's amazing. What I was saying is how I smell it and now I want it, but I really haven't eaten that much today. I have to get something of more sustenance that is not just bread and sugar and cinnamon. So we're gonna go over here and here's what we're coming for, the country style platter. Now as you can see, they're served with baked cornbread, bread and butter pickles, which I love. And then you also get side, there's baked beans and slaw and house-made mac and cheese, but then we got fried chicken, half chicken, pulled pork and mac and cheese bowl. Oh boy, I don't know what I'm gonna get, but it sounds incredible. Let's get it. Now this right here, Miss Dolly, this is what you call a plate. We've got the peppers, we've got the bread and butter pickles, the barbecue baked beans, the cornbread, and then look at this serving of barbecue pork. Are you kidding me? I'm so excited. Let's get into it. This is gonna be a hard meal to beat anywhere in any theme park, from the quality to the quantity. I don't have one negative thing to say. It's very rare that I enjoy cornbread at a theme park, but this is baked very well. It's moist on the inside and a huge serving. The baked beans are delicious, cooked well, and not overly sweet, which I really appreciate, and with a little bit of savoriness in there too. But then to be able to have the pickles and then the peppers along with this massive serving of delicious moist pulled pork, this is one of my favorite theme park meals I've ever had, and it's again going to be a very difficult one to top. Wow. Biscuits, the itis is hitting really quickly. For those of you that don't know, the itis is essentially when you eat and then you kind of get into that food coma and you start to slump a little bit. That's probably not the reason. I was also up very early this morning and traveled in from Orlando. So I'm actually going to leave the park. I'm not staying too far away at one of the Dollywood hotels, which I'm going to be doing a full review on. So I'm going to get to show you that as well. That'll probably be its own separate video just because the resort is so big. But I'm going to head back to the resort. I am actually going to take a quick shower and I am going to take a little nap, and then I am going to come back once the pumpkins turn on. That's, yes, once night falls and then the jack-o'-lanterns are all lit up. I am so excited to get to see it, and we're going to get to see, I'm going to try to see as much as I can tonight, but then we're also going to have tomorrow night to be able to do that too. So anything that I missed tonight, we're going to be able to catch tomorrow. So for now, Biscuits, I'm going to leave you for a little bit, and then the next time you see me, it's going to be dark, and we're going to walk around this incredible park, experience nighttime, and get to see the unbelievable Harvest Festival decorations here at Dollywood. So with that, Biscuits, love you. See you in a little bit. Bye. And poof. Well, Biscuits, welcome to the incredible, the stunning Dollywood's Heart Song Resort, where Dollywood is being so kind to host us for the event the next couple days. This is one of the most beautiful resorts I've ever stayed at. There's so much to see, but as you can see, the weather is not on our side. So a lot of things, like especially here at the resort, they've been making announcements, have been closing down due to weather. So I was supposed to do a reveal back at the park in front of that same pumpkin tree that would be all lit up pretty close to now, but the weather has different plans. So instead, I was going to give you a little look-see, a little peek at my hotel room here at the Dollywood Heart Song Resort. However, I'm going to hold off on that because I'm doing an entire video just dedicated to the resort, and kind of a spoiler alert, hopefully giving you every reason to stay here when you are planning your Dollywood trip. This resort is stunning. It is not every day that I get to stay in a hotel. It's hardly every day, or hardly even close to it, that I get to stay in a property at a resort anywhere that is as gorgeous as this hotel. I am so lucky to get to be here, and I just have to say another huge thank you to Dollywood for having me and allowing me to be a part of this momentous occasion here at Dollywood, getting to be a part of this announcement of one of the largest attractions, like I think the largest attraction in Dollywood history. It is a gift, it is an honor, it is a privilege, it is a total pinch me moment. I've wanted to do this since I was a kid. I've said this a couple times, and I never thought that I would have the chance in my life to do it. And sometimes in life, we take turns and go in a different direction, and what you think you're supposed to do turns out maybe not being the thing that you're supposed to do. And for the longest time, I have kind of felt out of place and just really not sure and really unhappy with what I'm doing. And for almost the last 2 years, getting to do this and live out this childhood dream has been nothing short of a dream come true. I'm so grateful, and I'm just really proud to get to be here. And being here would not be possible without all of you who have given me endless love, encouragement, support, and have seen me through what has been undoubtedly one of the hardest points in my life. Thank you for that. Thank you for being here. I love you with every inch of my being, and it could not be again possible without each and every one of you. So thank you. Oh, and by the way, if you are still here right now watching, Biscuit, you're a real one. I love you. I appreciate you for that. Thank you for being here. But for now, we're going to sign off for part 1 so we can get ready for part 2 coming tomorrow, which is going to be the announcement of this incredible new attraction, as well as another full and fun day at the best amusement park in America, Dollywood. Biscuits, if you haven't yet, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications so every time I post a video, you can come and slay with me. And as always, I'm Jeremy, but you can call me Jerendell. And as always, I will see you at the parks. Bye!